Hello there. What's up, people? How you doing? I'm not one to bring you the sky is falling news or fear porn or that, the general media thing. That's not what I do. But I would like to read something, because some of these things do tend to come to pass, whether or not they're man-made or caused because of, because people are making it happen, or if it's organic or it doesn't matter how these things happen. But here's something that is apparently happening and that we've been talking about for a while because that it's kind of been pointed that way. It's kind of there's this thing that is called I don't know if you ever watched The Simpsons and all of a sudden you see like years later the same thing happens. They're kind of like tell you ahead of time what their game plan is, that kind of thing. Oh, well, you can think whatever you want about this. This could be organically made, it could be manufactured, whatever you like. But I'd like to read this to you because there's a few things in here that I find uh, funny because I like funny. And this is about the West Coast. Let me move this over here. This is the entire West Coast's power grid is on the verge of collapsing. I've been talking about this in a bunch of different ways, what's going on the West Coast for a bunch of different reasons. Some to do with the power, some to do with the Lake Mead, some to do with just the general thing that they've been giving us about San Francisco Bay Bridge, as well as San Andreas Fault, and just the weirdness that is California. Um, and we've been talking about power grid over the entire country for a bunch of reasons, and in fact, the entire world due to altering temperatures and climate, altering, changing. Things have always changed, but however much, what's going on? There's a bunch of things here that I'd like to read this and just make a few little notations on it. And it says, entire West Coast power grid is on the verge of collapsing. Interesting. It says heat wave blankets most of West California, or West Coast this week. Officials in California have urged residents to reduce energy consumption to avoid straining the power grid. The National Weather Service says people should expect prolonged and record-breaking heat with little relief. The heat watch advisories stretch from Arizona to Washington. Let me go here. Let me scroll down and see what else it has to say here. Continue reading. To prevent the power grid from collapsing, the California Independent System Operator, which manages 80% of the state's grid, extended a flex alert, urging residents to curtail electricity use between the hours of 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. all the way to the end of the week. The operator also suggested residents pre-cool their homes, pre-cool at 72 degrees before 4, and then set the thermostats to 78 or higher during conservation hours. We'll discuss how this is ridiculous in a second for many reasons. Additionally, residents should avoid charging their electric vehicles. You know how Cali's been pushing to get electric vehicles because they're cleaner and greener and whatever. You should just go ahead and ask yourself one simple, uh, glaring question: where do you think electricity comes from? How do you think it's made? How do you think they're producing it? Why don't you go ahead and do a little research on that? I'll let you a little hint. The percentage of it that's coming from solar panels and what even though you don't want to look into how those are made or how good those batteries are or anything about that. Don't look into that. Just let's just say you'd be surprised at how much of that car that you plug into the wall, how much of that is coming from the power that they hate, which they call fossil fuels. We'll get to that in just in a second here. So additionally, residents should avoid using electric vehicles or large appliances because they don't want you using that. They want you to lower the strain in the grid, even though they just were getting everybody to buy cars because, oh yeah, okay, let's not. So to help prevent, okay, so lowering the strain on the West Coast power grid will help prevent more drastic measures like rotating blackouts, meaning they'll just black out places on purpose. Because no one could have ever seen this coming, and there was no time that anybody thought, hey, maybe just let's make a couple more power stations. That would make no sense at all, right? Couldn't have been done. There is no way that the state or corporations or power companies are making enough money to do that. It'd be idiotic, right? Okay. According to, unfortunately, California will be limited in its ability to import power because of a similar high temperature in neighboring states. According to NPR, Las Vegas is going to see 110 degrees Fahrenheit with 85-degree lows in the evening. Both are about 10 degrees above the city's average for this time of year. To provide some relief, to provide relief, Los Angeles is opening 9 cooling centers. Let's just address that. So what they're going to do is pump electricity into 9 cooling centers rather than you stay at your house and cool your house. So what we'll do is we'll have everyone get in their cars so they can go get gas and pay for that, and then get in their electric car that they can't plug in to use energy to get to drive, waste money and power and electricity to get to a cooling center that they're going to pump cold air into by using a bunch of power from the grid to go into those 9 central locations. Doesn't that seem moronic at best? Yeah, it does, because it's stupid. But yeah, now they're gonna have cooling centers that you can go to. There'll be extended hours too. You can go there at odd hours. You can make sure you turn your power off at your house so they can fill up these cooling centers so you all can just go there. That makes complete sense. Government officials also encourage people on the West Coast to exercise caution when outside. We're going to let you, we're officials, and we're going to tell you to exercise caution because you've never been in where it's hot before. You've never been in the heat. Understandable, because you don't live on the beach near the West Coast. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, right. Exercise caution when outside to keep a close eye on the health of their children, the elderly, pets, and neighbors. Make sure you're paying attention to your neighbors. The intense heat also prompted Governor Gavin Newsom to issue a state of emergency. It's a fucking emergency, isn't it, Gavin? Yeah, good old Gavin guy. What a smart cookie he is. Completely has nothing to do with politics, and he's in it to help you people out by giving you a state of emergency and advising you to go to one of your 9 cooling centers. Well, he doesn't have to deal with that. Nice. He said, extreme weather is just the latest reminder of how real the climate crisis is. This reinforces the need for urgent action to end our dependency on fossil fuels that are destroying our climate and making these heat waves hotter and more common. Well, interestingly, you guys know how this works, right? Just shuffling it around. Okay, so first of all, you'd have to be a complete dope at this point in time because you have that internet right in front of you, right? And in the internet, you can do research and you can find out that fossil fuel, like if you think I don't care if you think dinosaurs existed or not, I don't care. But if you think that they were making all of the like dinosaur bones were making oil, you're completely foolish. It's already shown how fuel is made and what it's made of. And it's renewable because you know how to make oil. It's corn. You make oil. Oil makes gasoline. So that oil comes from fossils, which is so far beyond moronic and stupid. To believe that in this day and age, you have to be really, really beside yourself in stupidity. So they need you to. But let's just assume we do agree with the fossil fuel, and there's all these problems. Well, then why? What are you doing plugging your cars in? Remember back to that thing? What are you plugging your cars into? Well, it's electricity. You plug it into the magic box, and electricity, poof, there your car goes. Did you know that electricity is coming from those same power plants that are? I think it's something. It's well above 90%. I think it's something like 99% of the power that's being provided is coming through either what they would say is fossil fuel or perhaps steam that relies as a fossil fuel, or some of them might say that they're using nuclear power or whatever the hell that is. If that's a real thing. I don't know. That could be, could not. Whatever. Some people don't like that either. But you realize your cars and all of this, your electricity is made from that. So just by saying go to do the electricity stuff, you're not getting away from that. It is helpful to know actually where it's coming from and how you make fuel and what it's coming from and not coming from, because it is renewable, and that's why you've had every in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Oh, there's a scare. We got to up the price. As soon as they up the price, nobody was using less fuel, but then they just found more. They just found more magically. Yep. Emergency proclamation will allow the West Coast power plants to generate additional. It will allow them to generate additional electricity. It also permits the use of backup generators, reduce amount of energy they need to draw from the grid during peak demand. This allows ships in California ports to reduce their consumption of electricity from the power grid. These will be emergency temporary measures, and the state will implement additional mitigation measures to counteract the increased emissions they will cause. I mean, first of all, none of that would happen anywhere in the country or the world if they, I don't know, just made more power plants, right? Wouldn't that just solve the problem? It would. Correct. Absolutely. And nobody, with all the intelligence we have, nobody figured that out. There wasn't enough money. Certainly, there's enough money. Certainly, there's enough manpower. Certainly, enough people unemployed that could go help build those things and make those. Certainly, there's the material. Certainly, everything is available there, and they just decided not to do it. And I mean, to really think that they couldn't provide enough electricity is ridiculous. So, and here's what this is even funnier. While it may be tempting to head out to the beach, it's worth noting. Note this. You can go ahead and take a note. It's that severe heat is dangerous to everyone. It can be fatal too. This is especially true when temperatures extremes last for more than a few days. Factors that increase risk include advanced age, chronic and severe illness, and environmental exposure. Examples are certain jobs or homelessness. We had nothing to do about that. Don't worry about how to fix that problem. So if you live on the West Coast, stay indoors where you can't use your electricity or put your air conditioning on, or go ahead and waste electricity and power and go to one of the 9 cooling centers that are using power and electricity that you're not using at your house. I mean, this reads like if anybody just read that, that wouldn't just go. How did we get to the point of anyone writing this? How wasn't this fixed in the 1970s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s? Everybody, you understand. There's this many people, and there's this much power that's needed, and you can make some qualitative guesses of how much energy will be needed, and you'd always have more than enough, so that way things like this don't happen. But yet, every year, everyone knows this happens. There's some sort of brownouts and blackouts in cities and states, and as the temperature goes up, it will be even more of a draw in the system, and these things will happen even more. You don't think that's planned? You don't think there was any way to fix that? Well, of course there was. They just decided not to, purposely. Hey, what do I know? Hello there. I'll open this back up to comments and see who's here. What's up, Suntoke? Where are we at here? Solar energy is one of those things I saw. They're knocking down trees. Yeah, because trees don't do anything for oxygen. Trees don't help the world survive. No, trees are just stupid. Get rid of them so you can dig up some lithium, right? Make some. That will help. Always does. Sancho, what's up, Nina Campata? Is it fixed? The microphone fixed? Hopefully. If you live in a city, you don't need a car. Well, you know what I'm saying. And what do airplanes run on? Almost certainly compressed air. Compressed air. And just, I mean, and Suntug, when you say anti-gravity, we have to understand that there's no such thing as gravity. Because we're talking about density, buoyancy, and what we call density, what we call gravity. Yeah, there's certainly ways of levitation. There's certainly all sorts of ways of, you can call it anti-gravity, but I know what you're talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, of course they are. But I mean, the simplest thing is even planes to a degree are anti-gravity. Using compressed air, you can do it. Compressed air doesn't take much. There's not much fuel consumption going on. What's up, Divine? What's up, Just Frank? Yeah, Just Frank. Yeah. Once we get those batteries that were used somehow in outer space that has a whole bunch of different uh, qualifiers, like the temperature in space and the lack of density or gravity, will probably have an effect on how those batteries work. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when they went to the moon, they had everything they needed. Oh, we just need to use them here, huh? Plant trees, smoke trees. What's up, Juniperus? Yeah, I don't know what you're pulling. Oh, look at that. Pull them in a row. See? Got that. We got the diamonds, the hearts, and the clubs all in a row. I was off. I was off by one. There was another diamond though. All right, what's next? It's almost like they have magnets in them towards each other. Suppose that could be a thing. The ace of puppies. The ace of purple toes or puppy toes? Ace of purple toes. Uh, that's the funny one. Yeah, the yeah, who took a picture of it landing and who took a picture of it leaving, and how does that all work? Yeah, I mean it's when you give someone these things that bury the entire idea, that just completely make it impossible. Even if you don't know science, just some of the very simple things like that, and they go ahead and just jump right over those. They just leapfrog that because they can't answer it, and they know that will cause their entire house of cards to just fall over. You know what I'm saying? It's it is quite funny, and you wonder how and when would people ever just go, yeah, that was we got fooled and that was wrong, and let's move on and have a better world. Let's go ahead and just accept that these people are lying and they didn't do any of these things, and let's build something better. When do you think that'll happen? Do you think? What would it take for that to occur? Let's have a drink. What do you think? What do you think? You guys want to drink? Yeah, and even if you bring it up as a question, even if you don't know and you just question it, I mean, you already know, I already know, but even if you were like, hey, but what do you think about that? Non-aggressive, not abrasive, no accusatory of someone being an idiot, none of that. Just going, how do you think that works? That immediately just they'll give you one of those, right? Yeah, we got. Is that what they did? Velcro tying? Yeah. And what's the other thing you got? You got that really comfy bed. You got that comfy bed. The squishy mattress thingy. Hey, you know what? I'll take that. But oddly enough, if that's what we got out of it, oh, that's the wrong one. That's right. Yes. There you go. Oh, there's her husband. Um, it, if that's okay, but even if what we got was Velcro and that cool bed, we still have to pay for the bed. It's not like didn't should they be giving us that shit for free? Didn't everybody pay into the taxes? Something like 64. What is it? $64 million a day? Something obscene, right? Shouldn't we all get a free squishy bed and free shoes with Velcro on it? I mean, you know what? I don't even like tying bunny knots in my shoes. I like Velcro shoes. I'm willing to come. I'm willing to go full circle. I'm ready to pull my autism card on everybody. I'm going full autistic. I want Velcro shoes. I don't care. Yeah, forget about the bed. Yeah, it's a well. If you live in America, what's the old George Carlin bit? The American dream. You got to be sleeping to believe it. You think Tang is worth about 6 billion a year? Is it really? I wonder what Wu Tang's worth. You know what? How come Wu Tang never linked up with Tang? You know what I'm saying? They could have had a Wu Tang flavor. They could have had the Wu Tang. You know, that could have been that would have been a link up. That would have been a hard link up in the '90s too. Late '90s, early 2000s when Wu Tang was popping off and Tang was a big thing. Still, they could still do something with that. You know, still have some fun doing some Wu Tang nonsense. What a Pleiadian crystal healing chamber? What the hell are you talking about? Vodka, yeah. I like oddly enough, I think we were talking about this the other day. Um, ah, I like um, what's that orange flavor stuff that nobody drinks anymore? But for real, it's better than orange juice. Sunny D. Mix some Sunny D and some Tang. That's the Jimmy Jammers right there, man. Sunny D Tang, some vodka, good to go. F10. Did I see Santos hooking up with Killer Priest? Yeah, that was a while ago. That was like last year. I've seen some of those. It's a really fun pro. I like it, man. Um, it was really interesting seeing, in one sense, how big Killer Priest really is and how feeble Santos is. It was such a contrast to see those two. Very funny, very funny. It's a conspiracy to deprive black people of orange drink with soul. I believe it is. I believe it is. A Pleiadian near Canadian. A lime Ricky. I don't know what that. He's huge. I know. Like, I get. You get what a big person is. You understand a solid giant, like a big person, but he's big. He's like when he goes to do something, when he goes out, there's a whole thing. You know, chicks take a long time to get their makeup on and do all that shit. Like if you're that big, there's a whole set of things that you got to do before you leave. Like getting up and putting clothes on and showering and all that shit. That ain't just like you see those people like they're late to work and they putting their pants on, brushing their teeth, running around, all that shit. Ain't no that ain't working for somebody that big. Yeah, I seen that he was like trying to link him with his son because his son like plays. makes beats or something. I didn't see anything occur out of that. I seen them talking about it, which seemed pretty cool because Santos can really rip up a guitar. Oh, he's a rapper. Okay, yeah, yeah. Wango Tango Bango. Remember that movie Django? Django Unchained. Is that what it was? What else? What do we get into here? Yeah, I covered that. Covered the shit earlier I wanted to. Yeah, I think just the general thing of what do you do? I'm very much in the middle of like laughing or slaughtering. I think that's a funny word. You say slaughter, but slaughter is spelled Laslaughter, and laughter is spelled Laughther. Slaughter laughter, slaughter laughter. Why is it spelled that way? I thought that was pretty funny. Because obviously into etymology and why words are spelled as such, but also I'm always in this thing of like it's either laughing or crying, or I want to just flip over a car. And because I think it's just a waste of energy to break things. Like I like throwing something. Like I don't throw tantrums, but I like if I have something and I can throw it and break it, or like just throw something fun, like funny wise. Like if I got something in my hand, like a sandwich, I like to throw it at the wall or something. Yeah, I'm like that. I think there's something fun of miniature raging out. So I always feel like I'm either gonna laugh or I'm gonna flip a car over, and I don't feel like spending that much energy, so I don't do that. I don't get that angry or cry. I mean, I cry enough. So um, the rest is just laughter, man. Like what are you gonna like this whole thing? You can laugh at it. You can. I mean, the other thing is going to a deep depression spiral into nothing is worth it. This life is so ridiculous, and I mean, if you're gonna do that, here's my suggestion to people. If you're gonna go the route of being, you know, depressed or apathetic or getting into that zone where it's just the candle isn't in the candle isn't worth the flame, that kind of thing, or is the flame isn't worth the candle? However that one works. You got to just go. Well, if that's the case, then you might as just while out. You might as well just have as much fun with it as possible. Because if everything is as crazy and silly and bizarre as it seems, well, why not just participate in it? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get overwhelmed with it. I mean, it's easy to get overwhelmed with how ridiculous things are, for sure, for sure, for sure. But you got to go. Well, fuck it. You met the Harlem Globetrotters in the '90s. Hey, just Frank, go watch that video that I've been putting his name out there a lot recently. Uh, Mind Unveiled. Go watch his recent one on how sports are rigged. He did one of the best videos on it. He did close to 2 hours and really got in depth on some technologies and some things. And because he's very kind, well spoken, calm mannered, So it was nice to hear him do it. It would be helpful to some people that aren't into those type of kind of theories. And he was still coming at it from like I never even thought about it. I just the other day I came across the idea, and he was still going. I don't know. But everything he put out there, I was like, yep, there it is. And he gets into like how do you think they're making all these shots? You can be good. I've known people that are very, very good at basketball. I could play a little bit. I know how many shots someone can make with no assistance. But you know, some of these shots are just like it happens too frequently, too often, there's too much to it. So I highly suggest that. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people here already are quite aware that most everything has some level of riggedness to it. Whatever you're looking at, whether you're looking at me pulling cards like this, you know, or whether it's the votes for something, or whether it's how did that ball get in there, or did that guy just fall on purpose, or I mean, how am I just pulling these out of the middle of the deck? I must be doing something. Although I'm not. I'm just actually I just am magic. There's a big difference. They're using technology to show you something. Afsan, you in that too? With laughter, you are inactive. Oh no, laughter is the most laughter, man. Laughter and crying are two of the most healing things, man. Very active. You know, it's inactive where you turn your brain off, and that's a good place. You just laugh. You got to. It's a perfect balance. There you go. Uh-huh. Slaughter is action. Yeah, there you go. Ah, or you ever seen somebody slaughtering something and laughing? Like the maniacal laughter. After sometimes you can't even bloody chef or smile with anyone. Yeah, sometimes you smile at people and they take it the wrong way. I mean, I've always said I feel very lucky living in this city of New Orleans because that doesn't happen here. But I know it happens in other places. I've lived other places and I know how it occurs. There's places you can't say hi to people, you can't make eye contact, and if you smile, people will think you got a problem. So for the most part here, I'm extremely blessed. You know, very comfortable. People are nice. They'll talk to you, make eye contact, and smile at them, the wave. What are you doing? People go out of their way to help you. You know, it's a good place. Other places, nah, man, not these days. You smile at somebody, they're like, "What the fuck do you want?" Oh yeah, you know him. Do you know? Do you also know? Conspiracies Are Us. Highly suggest that channel too. He's interesting. He does a lot of fringe stuff. I like his work though. What's up? What up, Sal? What are you doing? Coco Mais? Coco Mais. Sal Coco Mais. What's up? Yeah, I mean, the farther that we go, see that we're. I think most of us are in. We don't. We don't necessarily go down deep into specific rabbit holes too far because once we start to, we know where we're going. We know what we're getting to. We're in that overarching giant. It's more than a rabbit hole. It's like because every avenue we go down, we go, oh, we know where this is going. We know exactly how this is going to connect. We're going to go down this hole and it's going to connect to that one, which is a cool thing, right? As soon as I go down this thing, I'm just like, all right, well, mudslide giant buildings. Oh, we got giants out here. What does it mean if we had giants? What does it mean there was more oxygen in there? What does it mean? You know, I mean, now we can connect these to so many other things that all of a sudden those that interconnectedness, the way that a brain would, your neurons would fire, and it's like eating mushrooms and everything connects. That's what happens when you start going down these. You think you're going down a little ways, and there's this rabbit hole, and you don't realize it connects. But as soon as you go farther down, oh, you can go over here, and it connects to this one, and then they all connect. This is like the underground world. You start to, oh well, yeah, San Francisco's got an underground city. So does Chicago. So does Indiana. So does all of these other cities and towns. And then the more you look into it, you go, holy, they're everywhere. And we're not digging those out. And they go, oh, well, there's these underground tunnels that were built. Now, they didn't build those. They were already there. They might have removed some dirt. They might have removed some mud, but those were already there. You know what I'm saying? Like then you start to get into, oh, now everything just becomes this. Everything becomes so much more like obvious. It becomes like, of course, it's like that. You emptied the whole thing that you think you know, and as soon as you do that, as soon as you do that, here you go. The top three cards. Let's see if I can get the fourth one. I'll do one shuffle to find the fourth one. The fourth four. That's an entry. That's a door. Let's see if I can do it. Ah, I did a queen. Fuck that. I usually don't pull force. Okay. Well, anyways. Um, yeah, and then you just kind of empty out everything you think you know, and then whenever you start, when you allow something to make sense, when something really you feel it and you verify it and it becomes very scientific and you've gone through the methodology of understanding any of the subjects, as soon as you empty out the rest of them, they become a lot easier to understand. Oh, well, that makes sense. The underground cities, that makes sense that there was that's why there's bigger trees, that's why there was more oxygen, that's why we see all this, that's why there's underground cities, that's why this is being destroyed, this is you know haha, just Frank. Yeah, yeah, wearing the mask solves the problem. It does. It does. Because then they can just well, most people probably don't like looking at themselves anyways. They probably have a bad self image anyways. They probably don't like looking at themselves in the mirror. They don't like what they look like. That's a big thing. That is real. And so people are very comforted by the fact that they can wear it. Um, and then they're just general fear of things. And then then just cowering to authoritative things, saying, "Well, they must know." Makes it easier, so they're not going to think. I mean, sometimes it is hard to smile, but you know what? The answer to not being able to smile is don't fucking smile. There's some days you're depressed. There's some days you're unhappy. There's some days it's not sunny out. There's some days you don't feel right. But then there's other days that you feel like that. You know what I'm saying? You feel different. So you have to be able to fully immerse yourself in all of your different ways of being and feeling. But people cover that up because they're just. I mean, shit. If you're clinically depressed and unhappy and you want to wear the thing, maybe you got some more soul searching to do or something. Yeah, Saul. Did you change your name? Because I feel like I knew a Saul on here, but I don't remember the Kokomais. I don't remember your name. I don't know where did I know you from? Like how long ago? This channel? Well, I guess I'm on both of them now. Is that an alchemist or is that an Atman? Because this is on both right now. Trodden Trails. Are you Trodden Trails? Or is that you? Is that what you're saying? Um, then that makes sense. Or are you just saying watch those videos? Yeah, F10, you say it's a cool thing for sure. Some can't figure out their way down. Well, yeah, and some people, once you go down one rabbit hole, you get stuck there. And getting stuck there is no fun, because then you're digging on the same thing, and then those are the people that then they get buried under this one concept. It's kind of like the FE community. That's all they do. They don't get outside of that. Or these people that they get into the health thing, and they think everything they're doing is health, but they're missing out on so many other things. People start to do this one thing, they become so pigeonholed into something. So it's like when they start going down these rabbit holes, that becomes the only thing they see, their only purview of reality, which can be detrimental for sure. Yeah, you got to dip in and out. Um, Simulation theory, vapor canopy. Well, that all makes sense. Where the hue is purple, and that would make a lot of sense. Whenever, especially when you get into looking at the different gases within our realm and the density of them, and when you pass electricity through it, the light that comes. So when the sun is producing, so we think the sun is producing all the light, which in a way it is, but it's going through it's like whenever you look in the sky, sometimes it's orange, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's all different colors. We've seen some rainbow colors. Well, because the gases are changing place, the densities. So you can look up videos on what they'll do is have different types of gas within a tube. And when they electrocute it, it's a different color. So the gases change color. The gas itself is clear until you electrocute it or you put the plasma through it. So that plasma becomes, so the plasma that we're surrounded by changes color. And it's I mean, we can only assume that, okay, if I take a gas like oxygen, here's how I'm breathing. If I upgrade the amount of oxygen in the environment, things will grow bigger and I'll breathe different. If you start breathing helium, your voice will sound different, and you'll after a while um, things would grow differently. I've never seen any work done on it, but I'm sure you could probably find people who tried to grow plants in a helium-rich environment. There's helium in our environment too, right? Nitrous oxide in our environment, that's gone up. The amount of nitrous oxide in our environment has gone up in the past 20 or 30 years. Now there's this correlation that they have between nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide, um, the heat, and a few other things. Now, their correlation is backwards. I'm not going to break it all down for you, but I have a couple of charts and I'll explain to you how it works. But nonetheless, this is the this is the video that David Blaine is the ace of spades. Isn't that crazy? That's his card. And I was just about to talk about the video that he did called oh man, it was last year, and I didn't even know he was doing a new show. And then he did it the next day. I watched it, and then I did a whole breakdown of the whole thing. It was about luck balloons, and it was about changing of the gases and going up into an airplane, and basically getting to so high in the atmosphere that you would start laughing and you'd pass out. It's basically like you'd asphyxiate because you're not getting enough oxygen and you're getting more nitrous or something else in your system because of where you were. And in reality, what's happening on this realm is the gases are changing, the plasma's changing, the whole environment's changing for a bunch of different reasons. But yeah, it was called. Anybody remember the name of that David Blaine's last special? If you look it up and get onto my channel, you can find a whole breakdown. It was like a 2.5-hour video I did. I thought it was one of my better ones. People were pretty happy with it. Oh, there you go. Yep. Sal, that Kawhi Leonard shot from the corner. That should have showed every hooper it was manipulated. Yeah, no basket falls like that. Nope. There is definitely some sort of electromagnetics. There's some joker at work. There's something happening there. And if you watch the new one that your boy did, the new video, he gets into how what's inside of a football, which is equivalent to probably what they're putting in basketballs. Ask yourself why, if you go to a professional sports game, if you go to a football game, a soccer game, a basketball game, if the ball goes in the crowd, you do not get to keep that. Why wouldn't you be able to? They know damn well why you can't keep it. It's not because it's expensive. It's not because they only have so many. It's because the technology that's inside of it. And if you were to, go the route of opening it up, you'd find out what's in there. They're not take that chance. Guarantee that's why. Because I mean, to them, what's a basketball cost? That's nothing. If they weren't using anything, then when a football kicker kicks it off to the side or throws it off the thing, they'd let you keep it. What the fuck is that to them? That's a day at the park for you. Like, hey, look at this football I got. It was that's an amazing story. No, you give that shit back. Yep. And think about in sports, a lot of home runs hit, especially on big games. They'll go and find the person that caught the ball, right? And they'll be like, hey, let's get that ball. Let's go get that sign for you. You know what they do? They take this ball, put that right in the pocket, take the other one out, and you sign this one. Here you go. Here's your ball. It's not the same ball. Absolutely not. And I just watched a video the other day on. It was a funny one. It was this guy playing with his son. was golfing, and on his phone, he's got a tracker thing, and the golf ball inside of it's got a gyrosphere. It's got a little thing inside of it. The son hits the ball, who's like 3 years old, little cute little kid playing golf, and the father's just sitting there going like this, just getting the ball to go like this, up and around, and go just like oh, and goes into the hole. That's just something that you can buy. You can buy that right now. Now you're telling me that technology hasn't been around for a long time, and that it couldn't be used in golf? Ain't nobody getting a free golf ball. No sirree, Bob. You don't think there's technology in those golf balls? Have you ever seen some of these putts that are made? Impossible. It's impossible. And the frequency which that they make these things, how often, from the distance, you ain't that good. I know, golf is a difficult sport, and I know you can shoot some low rounds, but as consistently, and the funny thing is, what people don't get is the consistency of the makes are equal to the consistency of the misses. Things that should go and don't. Watch basketball. There's no way you are that good at basketball. You don't have an off day. You don't just have a cold day, and then that doesn't work that way. Not to the degree at which some of these players do. Doesn't work. Unless, of course, they're either told to, or the ball is made not to go in. If these dudes can go out there and make 100 free throws in a row and 90 threes in a row without any manipulation, then yeah, when they have a bad game, I can guarantee it's not because they were missing. It's because they were made to miss. Watch these guys catch a football. They already have the technology out where they have basically, it's not just stick them on the gloves. You can catch a ball one-handed without even. You can hold the ball and palm it like this. There's a technology it's already for sale to the public. So if it's for sale to the public now, what have they been using in the league for 20, 30 years? Archaics. Yeah, I know. I watch some of his stuff. Some people put us on, the community onto his stuff. I couldn't really follow it. He might be doing something. I don't. There's something. For me, I've always told you, my initial instinct is going to trump anything else for me. You like it, it's good information, so be it. There's just something about the way people are and the way they talk, the way they present information, the whole thing, that I don't prefer it. There's something that I do not trust or like. I could be wrong. I don't know the dude. It just comes off a little awkward to me, and I don't like it. So if other people get the information and they present it and it comes off as good information, it could be from him. Again, there's a lot of people that I don't like, but 80% of what they're saying could be true. Doesn't could be wrong. I just don't prefer it. Thank you. Just Frank, I just read this. You're not really I'm not either. No, it's something really awkward, right? Am I wrong? I mean, I'm not saying you can't be an awkward person or not necessarily comfortable on camera, or there's just something that doesn't sit right. I don't know what it is because I haven't listened to all that he's put out there. Texas Geezer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I hear you on the rough life, or if he was in the military. So coming from the military, you got two choices. You know some stuff, and maybe you got out of it early enough that you can, like, who's going to believe him anyways? Or you sign your thing, you sign your your NDAs and shit. You know what I'm saying? With certain organizations and things, but there's some things you cannot do, and others are on purpose. Here's what you need to say. I'm giving you the authorization to reveal this type of information. Some of it's true, some of it's untrue. Right? So that's always you got to throw that in with a big hefty chunk of. It's like that dude So remember that dude that came out maybe like 10 years ago, and he's another one that when I first seen him, I didn't know who he was. He came from NASA. He's coming out talking about all the aliens and this and that. Stephen Greer, Doctor Stephen Greer. First of all, he worked for NASA, and he's a doctor. Well, there's two major league. I already don't trust what you're saying. He's not like big, and he's like there's something really off about him. And then he's always bringing things back to this thing that has no bearing whatsoever on a reality. There's aliens, this and that. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm all about alien life forms and things that aren't from here and all that. But how'd he pop off and become so? Why is he the be all end all? I can't. I'm not. I just push that aside for a little bit. Just Frank, he tried to block you because he's saying something like it's true doesn't make it true or real. Really? Yeah, ain't that funny? I think that should let you know something right there. Odd, cool. Oh, hey, Saul, you're saying okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to catch up here, Saul. So I talked to you on Instagram. I know you from Instagram. You never knew me from here. Yeah, help me out. I'm gonna try to catch up to what you said. So, Saul, you knew me from Instagram. You didn't know I did this. You don't know that I've like. I just if you don't know, I got like 5,000 videos. About 4,500 of them are locked, and I've been doing. I don't know. I guess I've had like 6 years worth of this material. Everything from magic to etymology to whatever the hell you want to know. And oh, look in the bottom here. Let me show you something. I don't even know why this isn't on here right now, and it should be. Um, there you go. There you go, guys. You can go to my link tree right there, and it'll give you all the information that is also in the description box. That is also beneath. There's my Cash App, my PayPal, my Venmo if you want to help a brother out. TsarXen. There's also my Instagram, which I'm on my 8th varietal of. There's my other, yeah, there's my other channel, Zen Alchemist, as well as Zen Atman. Those are my two channels. And there is my email if you need to get a hold of me. So there's all that shit. I don't know why that wasn't up there. Where are we at here? Odd, cool. Mm-hmm. Smells cultish. Yeah, you know what else? You know what else? I had to kind of separate myself from a little bit. Is that moon? Those moon people, those moon cult people. That when he first came out, I forget what it was. The moon is the map to the Earth, which I'm all on board that it could be. But then he's trying to show you the map, and then the map he's like, well, you got to do this and flip it around, and it's this, and if you flip it over here, it's this, and it's like, I was like, yeah, you're going through so many dips and dahs, and I was like, if that's the map, I should just be able to use my on my ship and my telescope, and that's the map, and I know where I'm going, right? I can look at the North Star and I can use the moon. That's how we map things, yeah. And the way he was doing, I was just like, man, you're getting a little confusing here, a little complex. And I started feeling like it was for people, when you make something so complex that smart people think they know what it means, but they really don't. And they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Just to feel like they know something. It's like whenever you tell a joke and somebody doesn't get it, but they laugh, and then you ask them why it was funny, and they can't explain it. That's the way I started to feel with his information. I would go out on a limb and say, I'm a pretty smart human being. I'm a pretty smart fellow. I think I can figure most things out. I've built things. I've been an engineer. I've rehabbed houses. I've the college bit thing. I've you know pretty good SATs, IQ, all that shit. I'm not a fucking moron, and I can figure things out. And something just trips me up on when he's trying to explain things. And when somebody's trying to explain something and I feel tripped up, I'm like, if I'm tripped up, then definitely everyone else is. Yeah, time will tell. Yeah, well, that's the thing is, I got it written right there. Time will tell. T-I-M-E. And if I gotta flip this shit over, then you understand. E-M-I-T, emitting time. Yes, I'm a Saturnian time lord. I'm only slightly kidding. Um, yeah. What is time? You box it up, encapsulate it. You emit it. Oh, yeah, he's asking for money. Oh no, I would not. I wouldn't. No. If you have like a pay-per-view subscribe thing that is like things you can't say online, okay, I could get behind. I've paid some people online because I thought they were interesting or funny or had something to say. I'm happy to donate to people, but I don't, having a subscription for something to, yeah, and I'm like, oh, then you're doing something here that doesn't seem right. Hey, just Frank, it's pretty cheap to buy a thumb drive copy and mail them out for $60 with the T-shirt. Should I do that? Should I? Here's the thing: the trouble with me putting a thumb drive together of all of my good stuff is none of it is on my hard drive. I don't have a hard drive. Everything is stored through the YouTubes. It's online. So if I would have to, I'd have to buy a good enough computer uh, to, and then I would have to pay the fee for YouTube, download to the computer, and then upload it to the hard drive for people, and then I'd have to do that however many times. You know what I mean? It would take an investment up front for me to get a computer even capable of doing that. Like how many? I don't even know how many gigabytes of information that I have out there, which should probably be, and some of it's going to be shit. Some of it's going to be me just talking, being retarded. But as a totality, most of it's pretty solid. But what 5,000 videos, well over an hour a piece. Like I probably have about 15 to 20,000 hours worth of videos. Is that is that what is that? How do you even where would I even start with that shit? He reminds me of Alex Jones. I didn't know that he was doing. I didn't know he was selling. I didn't know he was selling. Yeah, I got some brains over here. And tell your girl I want some brains too. The enlightenment drinks and candy. Hey, well, I will offer you drinks of enlightenment. It means come to New Orleans and just go to the bar with me. That's all you need to do. Drink some tequila. There's your enlightenment. And if you need something to some candy, hey, depending on what kind of candy you're into, I might participate with you. I would happily do that. Oh yeah, yeah. These serious. Yeah, when people are too serious, I that's so funny. Didn't I do a whole video on that like 2 days ago or yesterday on how like humor. Oh yeah, we were doing the types of intelligence and how when people don't have a sense of humor, they're missing something. That's a big human quality. You know what I mean? To have the capacity to have a sense of humor. Like the smartest people I know are also very funny because it takes intelligence, a type of intelligence definitely to get humor and be funny. And then people that don't laugh and that don't get humor, I'm just like, what are you missing? Are you missing a big part of your brain, life experience? It ain't that serious out here, bud. Hey, just Frank, that isn't that a funny thing? Isn't that a funny thing to think about? That it seems that these people that go to these places have the access to things that could be a lot of reasons for that. Oh, there you go. There's here. You want to see? You want to see? Here's arcane knowledge. The two top cards and two bottom cards. What do we got here? Aces, kings, and jokers. Yeah, yeah, that was always a funny thing to me. I mean, shit, as much as I know and the access that I have to things, hey, I've spent a lot of time, you know, goofing around, talking to people, going to weird, people like Savan's collection of books and going through, I bought so many books off of Amazon. I found some cool shit, man. I had to do my own digging. It wasn't just like handed to me. But that is funny that you'd say, well, why do they get the information? And what type of information is that, and for what? What's up, Reboot Store? The illusion, the ill us ion, the illusion, getting clubbed in the club, getting mauled in the mall and clubbed in the club. Yeah, if there is a way to rig a game, then it is rigged. That's certainly true. Especially when there's gambling. Once once there's once there's gambling occurring, you can guarantee that someone's making money and they don't want to lose, so they're going to do everything to put it in their favor. It's just it's how things work. Go read. Funny enough, one of the first books that I read on this was called "The World Is Flat," and it had nothing to do with the theory of the world being flat. It had to do with how everything is on this equal playing field these days, and how businesses function. And I might be screwing up the book because I think I read it at the same time. It was "The World Is Flat," another one, but it was about. I'm pretty sure it's "The World Is Flat." It was about how even even in sumo wrestling, I mean, it was proven obviously FIFA, which is how do you do that? Like soccer seems like a very difficult game to rig, but it has been proven so many times is rigged. And boxing is very easy to rig because you only got to deal with one two people, right? But it was getting into sumo wrestling and saying, here we can prove it, and they getting into the yakuza and the gambling, and they say, hey, watch every time that there's a fighter that's 8-7 going against a fighter that's 7-8 and this, or even 9-6 versus a 7-8 wrestler. And the way to move up ranking is to go 8-8 or above that, and then you go up in ranking. Now, if these people were so in their different dojos, if they wanted this person to move up in ranking, they would notice that about 80% of the time, the person that should have lost the fight that was at a lower ranking, if they were in a a dojo that was not in competition with this other one, they would win. And they started to get into that, and it became very obvious that sumo wrestling was very much rigged. You think not? But it is. And again, I will remind you that what I'm doing here, I'm just shuffling cards. I have I do not have any sort of not manipulating, controlling these, even though you would probably suggest that I am. And obviously, but the thing is, for me, I'm not winning any money here. I don't. I have nothing to gain. I just actually do. I am magic. That's just what it is. Or these other things are using things to earn money and stay ahead of the game. Casinos don't lose. The house doesn't lose. There's reasons for that. Oh, what's up, Parsival? Yeah, it could be all that. University professors lose their minds. Oh yeah, you've seen me lose my mind once in a while, momentarily, but I could see how they could. I could see why. I could see why from many different perspectives. One is that whole the movie Pi, the black and white one, where I know there's some sort of underlining matrix, some sort of way that things are plotted out, some gematria, some sort of coding in this reality that things work out in the way, and people would obsess their entire lives over how the fuck does he keep pulling all of the face cards and the jokers? How does he do that? He must have them flipped over because I can't see them. You know what I mean? He must be doing so. Oh, now, how did these get upside down? Those ones did get upside down. See, these ones got that way. How did that happen? And people get obsessed with that and lose their minds. Other people lose their minds because they're so close to they know because they know there's some bullshit going on, and they can't handle it. They're like they like years ago they're like, yeah, I want to make that money, I want to be part of that, and they're like, yeah, but you can't ever, like, no, I'm willing to do it. And then they get later in life. It's kind of like your boy who said that he went to what is his name, Neil Armstrong. His name, Neil Armstrong. So if you take his last name, it's A. His first name is Neil. So if I just put that backwards, it spells alien. You think that's just a chance? So your boy, Alien Armstrong Neil, lean. You think that guy? He knew what he got into, and he even told you. He told you later in his life, as in his life, seeing a little cuckoo, because he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle being a king, because he was like, man, I lied to the entire fucking world, and they still maintain believing this fucking this movie, this whole fucking fakery. He'll lose his mind. People that are too close to the truth will lose their mind. And if you're close to the truth because you found it, then it's a nice thing. It's like how much you have kingship. Oh, I grabbed two of them. That was the four. I was the king. That you'd have like some sort of your mental prowess would have an effect over your reality as well as the larger reality, and you go, that's pretty cool, and hopefully you don't fall into that Jerusalem syndrome or thinking that you are God. You are the one and only God. You know what I mean? And well, that's a weird one. That I'm the only God. That happens to people. And then you just gotta accept, like, no. Everybody's God, and we're all just playing this little game here and enjoy it. Some people get most people live their life kind of outskirts of that. It's understandable how people could lose their mind. What's that song that your boy did? The greatest day of my life was when I lost my mind. You go crazy. CeeLo Green, crazy. Or the other one, the greatest times of my life is when I died in my dreams. Are you getting that coffee? You getting on that coffee, dude? Mark Passio sells the Arc Drive. Yeah, I was Mark Passio. People always ask me what I think of his stuff. He was like one of the first people out doing some cool shit. I just talk different. I like his stuff. I do have my reservations on some shit he says, but good enough. I like what he puts out there. I'm just not of the same energy as him. And I get it. There is that balance point of like, okay, this is what I want to do, and I want to help people, and I still need to make a living, and I got to make a profit. And I still got to do businessy marketing shit. I get all that. I like his stuff. I just don't really. It's kind of like a lot of people that I used to follow. I don't really pay attention anymore because I'm pretty much doing the same shit they are, if not better. At least that's what I think. What's up, Skull? What's up, Zanzibar? Yeah, without humor, there's definitely a psychopathic, or you're stuck in your left brain and your corpus callosum. Is that right? Your center part of your brain is supposed to be connecting your left and right brains. Is that what it is? Your corpus callosum? Whatever that shit is, it's supposed to be connecting. A lot of people's aren't. It's not linked up. Base and base. What you mean, 64-bit thingy? What you talking about? Somehow we are living in a script. You just can't put your finger on it. Yeah, that's the whole. That's the whole black and white movie pie. That's the whole. You know. Yeah, I think that there is a type of. I think we're living on a computer, not in a computer, and I think there are certain, just like a video game or anything else, there are certain checkpoints and little things that we, build up our character, our self, our ego, our brains, or whatever the hell we are. All that shit. We build that up for something. Certainly, I think that. But I don't think it's as. I think it's a little more malleable. I think we can change what those things could be. I think it's a little more open source, and I think that there isn't some certain calculatable top, bottom. Ah, I thought that was it. There it is. Top and bottom. Still got the queen in there. I still think it's a little more malleable, but there are some defined points of, like, as we watch things develop and become more conscious or aware or evolve or morph. There's more things and changes and things and that we'll get to. But I think it's a little more malleable. I don't think it's like this straight linear. This is how you get there, and this is what it needs to be, and you don't process to the next realm or whatever unless you accomplish this and this. I don't think it's that scripted, because that would be no fun for anyone, would it? I think you can grab a hold of the script and change it yourself, and that has to do with high levels of magic. They just dip out the script and then write it. Write your own script. See, I kind of live somewhere in between, I guess, because I like the little bit of surprise me nature and the adventureness of it. But then other times I'm just like, fuck this. I need to make myself a sigil. I need to make myself some little characters that will some me seeks, basically. I got to make this grimoire. I got to do some things to, like, make sure that reality is coded out for my benefit. Why wouldn't I have it that way? You know what I'm saying? So there's a little bit of both. I think you can have as much control over your reality as, like, way more than you think. I think just people they don't test it. Young Lean. Yeah, Gnarls Barkley. There you go. Hey, Just Frank, why are you using my favorite quote of all time? Seriously, I've used that so many times. Krishnamurti. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Ain't that the truth? So if I look crazy or I look a little sick to people, well, that's because the sane ones, the healthy ones, appear sick to sick people. It will always be that way. I mean, it won't always be that way because everyone won't always be peace. The majority of people won't be the screwed up sick ones. But, like, your response to something that's wrong has to be righteousness. If I see somebody saying something that's wrong, I don't care how I sound. I'm not gonna. I will not stand for this bullshit. I'm not gonna. I've had so many artists and people that I don't care what they think of me, but I'm just not gonna let them say something that is incorrect. It's patently false. It's incorrect. I don't care what you think. I'm stupid. I know you're stupid. You can think I'm stupid. You can think that I'm wrong, but I know factually, without question. I'm not going to argue with you if I don't know. But if I know something, then I'm happy to say it. It's just, don't have this. I don't have time for this nonsense. It's been going on too long. Skull, can't trust so-called spiritual teachers who don't drink their piss. I would agree with that. That's one of the things. Of my rules that I have, something to do with where do you think we live? What do you think this realm is? There's a hard stop there. On, at least if you've done the research and what you consider and what kind of questions you have. What do you know? What do you really know about distilled waters, health, and urine. That's a pretty big one. Um, there's a few major questions that if you think that anyone went to the moon, there's no questions there. If you think that, then we're not going to be on the same page. I'm not going to say I wouldn't be your friend, but you're definitely not a thought partner. You're not at all capable of deciphering this world. I wouldn't want you on my team because if you're that dumb, then you're not going to be figuring much out. So there's some ultimatums, honestly. Frank, till the false is seen as false, truth is not. The Yoda Krishnamurti. Yeah. That is the dilemma. You have to dismantle. You have to dismantle the fakery before anybody can understand what value. What is the truth thingy. Uh-oh. Let me open this window. Get a little light in here. Uh-oh. What have we done? Yeah. I'll be right back with you. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah. There we go. Fuck yeah. Cool. Much much love and light to everyone. There we are. Corpus callosum is Latin for the tough body, also called the commissure, wide, thick nerve tract consisting of a flat bundle of commissurial fibers. Okay, well that could be right or wrong. What is the one that connects left and right brain? Is that it? Yeah, isn't that funny? Clear Channel. That was that's the major radio station gang. Owns all the big radio stations like your hot new music on 97.9 Rock FM or like 103.9 your hip hop station, and you get the oldie station. Yeah, that's the Clear Channel. I almost worked for them selling ads. I was funny enough. I was almost one of the people that was like doing all of the events and shit. I did not take that job though because the pay structure was funky. It was basically like it was good if you sold a lot of ads the right way, but you know it was tough. So I did not end up doing that. I had a friend that worked there for a little bit. It's like you'd make one big paycheck here and there, and then the rest was shit. You lucked out and sold a little ad. Anyways, what else is up in there? Let me get some ice cubes since no one's saying anything. I'm gonna refill my cup, and I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, back to whatever the hell I'm doing here. Everybody left now? Should everybody leave me? Oh, leave me? You know what I would like? I would like a I don't know, like a platform kind of like YouTube, where there is a little more, I don't know how to say it, like intimacy or something, in the sense that like if someone walks in the room, you should have to say something. Like, if you walk into a room and there's like an elder there, you say hi. You don't ignore them. You don't ignore people when you walk in the room. You make, and when you leave, you say goodbye. You know what I'm saying? So like and also there's a thing that I don't like um about YouTube is like there's weird people and creeps that can just be in there in the background. I think everyone should be, the fact that you get to see my stupid face, I should at least get to know who's in the room. That way, if there's someone here that I don't like and don't want them here, then I could just like boot their ass. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's a little unfair that people, you can just make up a new account and just comment dumb shit. I think it's weird. I think there should be a platform that has, there should be more power to the creator, to the person doing the thing. Like if I do a theater, security, I can boot someone out, and I don't have to deal with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Not that I do a deal with. I'm just saying I seen it happen on other channels, and I just think it's just sometimes when people come and go, it's just not. It would be just nice to know who's here watching. I think that'd be a little more authentic. Yeah, I get it. But if you have a huge audience, you're not gonna really fucking know, and who cares? But that still could be qualified. That way, like, hey, this person comes back and watches me. Cool. And then I could be like, I would know that this person comes and watch me. So I'll be like, hey, let me send you a free hat, t-shirt. Here's my underwear. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like and then other people that come and just continually just come here to just be a fucking pain in my dick hole. Then I'd be like, fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Did you get those kind of people? Like you should have a little more control over things. And again, I'm not saying this because I deal with any of this, because it's so minimal that I do. I just know other people do, and it's kind of obnoxious, right? So I've seen other people's channels, and you get on there and you read the comments, whether after the show or during the show, and it's like, why doesn't this motherfucker shut the fuck up? Why are they here just wasting people's time and being a being a cocksucker? Do I think people would interact better on a private website? Well, for me, no, I don't give a shit. Like, I mean, in the sense of it doesn't cause me a problem. And people interact just fine. I like the wildly westy kind of thing. I just wish there was a little more that I knew who the fuck was in here. And of course they would, because they would have to. Because if it's a private website, you already have access to who's coming in and who's not. You'd be on the, like YouTube knows who's coming and going. They have access. So if it's your own website, you would know too. And just from the sense of, if it's a private website, then people are going to be paying to come in the room. And if you're paying to come in, you're not paying to be a you're not pay, you're, you don't have the time or the money to be wasting on being a fucking schmuck. So yeah, like a pay per view kind of shit. You pay if you want to watch it. You don't pay because you lick dogs' dicks. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, dog? Look, top. It was on the bottom. Bottom. Second to last. What's the chances? See what's next. Third to last. So once again, I would like an explanation. And I just sitting here shuffling, and those end up on the top and bottom. It must be different size cards. Is it just because I just end up picking them that I get something on them? So again, I'm put them in here randomly. I don't know. I'm not counting these out. Shuffle them, and they'll somehow just end up wherever I want them. I don't. Hey, what does puppy toes mean, by the way? Like, you say that, is that what the clubs are? Because they look like the bottom of a puppy foot, like puppy paws. Is that what you mean, puppy paws? Clubs are like like these right here. Ah, I got you. Look at the only one that comes out. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you. Put that back. Now that makes sense. Little pads, little puppy pads. Hmm. Oopsie. Oops, oops. Hmm. Are you saying you want me to pull the wands out right now? You want to pull my wang out? My wang? Top three. What do we got here? Oh, we got a 10 Jack Queen. Got the 10 there. I don't know what the fuck is the 10 doing there. I didn't ask for a 10. It's a face cards, face cards. Nothing else. Uh, I could do a well, I used to have a Zoom and we used to do that. And this on here, I can turn this into a Zoom chat. I have that capacity. I can give anybody the room right now and I can split this up into I think you can do 10 people on here. I mean, the only dilemma with that really is it's on my YouTube. So if somebody doesn't want to like on a Zoom thing, people don't got to worry about like being putting their dumb face or their. But if I do it, it's. I mean, I can do it and then just shut it off. You know what I'm saying? I can delete it. Like if I do it from the beginning. But even if I do that, like you say, like if I were to do it Zoom chat on here, styly, um, then I mean Zoom was cool when I was doing it, but it started to get a little chaotic because then it became too much of a free for all, and so I it kind of got away from me doing like a teaching thing. It just became like everybody talking shit, which is fine. I'm happy to do that. But on here, it's the matter of like the jerk offs in the background. I guess if anybody's down for that, I'm always down for that. Wands, clubs, people are super shy about being. Yeah, yeah. Well, and yes, and it's probably exceptionally difficult because I think that people would get on other people's channels with less of a uh, like. I've met people off of here in public, and people were shy to come up and say hi to me. They were like, "Oh fuck," and it's like I could see why that could be. It could be a whole lot. Like, oh my god, I'm a fucking. Not that. Oh my god, I get to talk to Zen. He's so this or that. It'd be like, oh shit, he might fucking eat my face off. The chance you got to take. I get why other people on other channels could just be like, oh yeah, I'll call this person or talk to them. But you're like, I don't know, is that a good idea? He might say something terrible. He might make fun of me. It's fucking right, I might. Yeah, and I know, and of course I get the being shy part because oh, and you don't even need to put your face on. That's the thing too that we should remind people. You don't got to put your face on here. You can still just do your voice. People do that on Zoom sometimes too. Because it took me a while to even put my voice on camera like that. I was writing for a long time. It took me about a year and a half to even get put my face. And that was difficult. And then to interact with people, it took a little while too. And imagine I'm an introvert. I can't do this shit in public. Could you imagine that? Me talking to somebody like right across them and looking at them and talking to them? Man, that's crazy. I'm kidding. uh hey, just Frank. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. Like, some of my earlier videos are very, like I've expressed to people before. My early stuff, is teaching. It's what I knew. It's like, I'm going to tell you something. And then it got to more, a little bit free form. And then it got to finally put my face on camera. Then it got to, okay, I'll do some live shows. But even the live shows were still regulated by, like, I had some sort of, here's what I'm going to talk about today. It's never been out of, I've only read a couple times out of a piece of paper, like maybe 3 times. But that was, just shit I'd written down. Other than that, I'm just like, I have a couple notes and I go by that, but I'm still going to stick to it. Even if I was doing a live show, I wouldn't really even respond to people's questions so much. And then I was like, fuck it, let's just do live shows and anything you want to know. And nothing's really off board. That was like when I was confident enough, like, yeah, I pretty much do know what I'm talking about. And I'm well equipped at any point in time to speak. You know all of them? You know all of them in person? You know all of them? Hearts, man. Oh, there it is. Tops and bottoms. Bitch, got them. I swear you guys must really think I'm doing something with these cards. And I'm really not. Really not. Really not doing it. It's just happening. Just shuffling. I'm not doing any Jason Ladani. If you want to see somebody that fucks, you want to see somebody that fucks, that has been a card mechanic for 35 years, look up this dude on YouTube and on Instagram. His name is Jason Ladani. Ladayne or Ladnye. I'm not sure. And I've watched people, do magic and cards and shit for a long time. I do not. I promise you, this is literally legitimately, this is just a fucking deck that I had sent to me, and I just dick around with it. I don't know how to do any card tricks. I can't shuffle very well. I don't know any. I don't really know. But watch this dude. He will every single time he does a trick, it will leave you going, that's not possible. Not in like, okay, he's doing sleight of hand or something. There's just shit that he's doing that is like not human. It'd be like he's doing something and he's using just a regular deck of cards. He's like, no, they have to be marked. And they're not. So check him out, Jason Ladani. The security paranoia of voice and data collection runs most into silence mode. Am I supposed to decode that? Oh, you're saying like people, like humans. They have a like, oh, I need to, so they don't talk. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. That is a thing. Once you like, but I'm a goof and loudmouth in public anyways. I look like I look. There's it's just what you get. It doesn't whether I say something or not. It's yeah. You kind of got the note. I'm big time. Buy my book. Hey, Just Frank, did you are you guys playing a little jokey game over here? Because I can't tell. Because are you saying you have a book like you really do, or are you being funny? Parcel came through. My subs and my downs. Now the weirdest time for me was funny right when I moved to New Orleans. Well, not when I moved to New Orleans. Right when I moved houses, and so I lived in a new neighborhood. And my channel was it was right when I started to do live shit. And I'm walking down the street, and I hear, "Yo, Zen, what up?" And I was like, and being me, I go out, on a regular basis to bars and go to dive bars, have drunken fun weird nights and meet all sorts of people. I'm like, oh shit, who the fuck is this? Like, and I'm looking, I'm like, I don't know this person. I was like, who, where? In my mind, I'm like, okay, where do I know this person from? Where did I get drunk with them? How do I know them? And I get to him like, hey, what's up, man? And he goes, and his first thing he said, you don't know me, but I watch your channel and da da da. I was like, no shit. And that was really like one of the first times I was like, holy shit, just pulling fucking ace of club out after ace of club. And I just was like, wow, that's strange. I would never want to be any more famous than that. You know, like people that just can't leave the house and like, hey, that's fucking, because it's too much work. It's too much like, you know, it's like when people want to hang out, and like, oh man, I just fucking went and hung out over here, and I was like, hey, what's up? Let's go have a drink. And like, I'm fucking wasted. Can I just go home? I would never want to be that famous. You know, I think it's too much drawing energy. But it was interesting. I do not know, but I do not know all my subs. I know some. You made friends playing video games. Your friends after like 5 years, no shit. And you don't even play that game anymore. Yeah, I've heard that happening often, man. That's cool. I never had the online. I never had online shit, man. I've played other people's stuff when they had it. I just never. I just my my transition from like I was like when people really started to get online is right when I kind of got out of playing video games so much. I didn't upgrade from my Xbox 360. You know what I'm saying? Like I got it when it was discounted. You know, I just play. I just like GTA when that first came out. I was into it, but then you know, then everybody started playing online. That's kind of when I was like, nah. Wait, hey, Just Frank, for real? You actually do have a book? No shit. Okay, I'll check it out, man. Can you post a link? Nah, fuck you, dude. You can't do that. Yeah, post a link. Go for it. Yeah, I'll put it up on the thing here. Of course you can. Don't ask me that shit. If you did and I didn't want it there, I'd just delete it. I don't have a book. I can barely read. What up, Danny? What are you talking about, Danny? Britney Spears, The Jungle? You want me to pull another spade out? Is that what you're saying? Um, shuffle these up. I don't know, I'm just sitting here shuffling cards, talking. A free Ever, a Frever. Here we go. So anybody doesn't know this, here comes Danny Delane, Danny Skylark. And she's gonna just say random things. I'm still not convinced that it's actually her anymore. I think it just might be a robot that's just plugging things in there like what's that thing people use like Siri or whatever the shit they use. I think that's probably what she's using. Just plug shit in there. Just put some letters in there. See, who painted my rose red? Have no meaning whatsoever. She just says the most random things. Who painted my nose red? Giggity giggity goo. Oh yeah, yeah. Hey Danny. Hey Danny, you want to split the screen with me? So hey, anybody want to see that Danny actually is a living person? I'm just fucking with her. It's up to her. She wants to. Are you um there's no breastfeeding today, Danny. No breastfeeding on camera. Not that I care, but I think the censors would. I'm trying to get my channel back monetized again. It wasn't hard to get the bots to contradict themselves. Well, you know what's funny too is it's not very hard to get humans to contradict themselves either. As we were discussing earlier, I think robots are becoming more human-like, and humans are becoming more robot-like. Hey, so Danny, you wanna put your stupid head on here, talk shit? You can do it. You can do it. I'll have to. Let's see how to do this. I gotta go to more. How do I do the invite thing? Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button here. Guests, invite, copy to clipboard. Okay. Then I go to more. Post. Here you go, Danny. If you want to. Boom. There it is. Yeah, yeah, Frank. It is the whole people becoming way more predictable and robotic, and robots being capable of doing more and more artistic things. Yeah, it's a big thing. I think that's what he said. My boy, oi. Were you turning Jewish? Oh, oy vey, my boy. What about your voice? Do you think you don't have one? Oy vey. Um, you think so? You think it was a good way to spot it? Well, to a degree, yes, but not. But also, it really made it very acute. It's not very cute at all, but you could become acutely aware to the people that were call whether they're really NPCs or something else or robotic is really irrelevant to the fact that, like, okay, these people, their brains are not functioning at the highest capacity, and online it for anybody else it became very obvious, but a lot of people still don't even notice it. So what are you, Danny? What are you talking about? My voice? Are you doing your best rendition of a robot? Hour and 14 minutes in here. And as a reminder to people, if you want to help out this guy, me here, do cool shit like this, I can turn a card inside out. And wait, how do I do this one? Doesn't matter what I do with it. I'm not good at it. Um, you can do the thing beneath the description box and put dollars into my sock. You can put in my portfolio. You give me $1 or two, buy me a beer, buy me a car, buy me a house. Whatever you like, donate to me. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, TsarXen. That's me. And there's also my old writings back to 2012. And um, yeah, there's other shit there too. You can read it. Go to that stuff. I do appreciate dollars and cents though. Okay, well, check it out. Let me end this because I just noticed I do need to make I gotta answer a text. Um, I'll give you 3 rules as per usual. One, stay authentic to yourself. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Be as weird as possible. Enjoy yourself, especially considering if you do believe you come back and live everyone else's life, you better have a good life, because if I got to live yours, it better fucking be good. If you got leftover monies or energy, help people. You want to help me? That's great. You know how to do it. And yeah, all that stuff. Help out when you can. Help yourself out. But let me roll out of here. You guys hopefully enjoyed. There's all the things you can find me on Instagram and my WordPress and my email, as well as my backup channel. And if you want to give me $1 or two, and I appreciate it. Good to see everybody. I'll probably be back a little bit later. Probably this evening. I'll probably tie in a nice little buzz and have a drunken night with you guys, because I don't feel like going out. I know it's Friday, but I haven't been out in 3 weeks to do anything. And I think I'm gonna just maintain that until next week. I think I'm just gonna take 3 whole weeks off of doing anything in public. I'm completely introverting myself and becoming a social outcast. It's good to see everybody. I'm out of here. Talk to you soon. Peace.